The 8-mile railway that connected Helston with the Cornish main line at Gwinear Road was lifted in the mid-1960s, so my journey to visit the Helston Railway today begins here at Camborne Railway Station on the Cornish main line. This is mining country, and Camborne was the home of Richard Trevithick, who was the inventor of the high-pressure steam engine. Standing here on the platform on a Wednesday, I'm reminded of Jethro, the famous Cornish comedian and singer, and the story he used to tell on stage that trains don't stop at Camborne on a Wednesday, and it propelled both Jethro and the town of Camborne to national and international audiences. Upon his death, the Great Western Railway unveiled a plaque at the station, along with a message which said, "May you rest peacefully in the knowledge that the train does indeed now stop at Camborne on Wednesdays, and this Great Western Railway IET to London Paddington is stopping." Meanwhile, with no direct rail connection to the Helston Railway, I'm continuing my journey by bus, so I'm heading over to the bus station at Camborne. Well, this is the closest that you can get to the railway by public transport, and it's about a 3/4 of a mile walk from here down some country lanes to Prospidnick, which is the terminus of the line, and it's where the railway have constructed a temporary platform and a car park. Hello and welcome to the Helston Heritage Railway, which is the most southwesterly standard gauge heritage railway in Britain. And the railway here opened in 1882, and at that time it ran for 8.5 miles from Helston all the way up to the Cornish main line at Gwinear Road, which is between Helston and Camborne. Passenger services, though, were suspended in 1962, followed by freight a couple of years later. And in 1965, British Rail removed most of the track from this line and sold off parcels of land. In 2002, the Helston Railway Preservation Society was formed with the aim of reinstating as much of this railway as they possibly could, and the first passenger trains ran in 2011, and so far they've built about a mile, just over a mile of track, but they do have very ambitious plans in the future to extend the railway further than this. Upon my arrival on site, my eye was immediately taken by these original signs that were on display at Gwinear Road Station. The railway, which ran from Gwinear Road on the Cornish main line down to Helston, closed to passengers on the 5th of November 1962, and all goods traffic ceased from the 5th of October 1964, which was also the same date as the closure of Gwinear Road Station to passengers. It wasn't long before track lifting commenced in April 1965, and by the end of that year, the British Oxygen Company had removed all of the track, and it appeared that this was the end of the line. However, a preservation group known as the Helston Railway Preservation Society was formed, and it's very much thanks to them and their hard work that a section of this once busy GWR branch line has been recreated. The volunteer labour force here have worked wonders since work commenced back in April 2005, and a mile of new track has been laid starting here at Prospidnick in the north and travelling south to Truthall Halt. Well, it's just time to have a look around this well-stocked gift shop, which is housed in a converted GUV mail van. All of the funds that are raised from retail operations, from catering and from the sale of second-hand books are ploughed back into the continued operation of the railway and to support the railway's future plans. Well, it's time to head down to the station, and there's a temporary platform in place at Prospidnick Halt. Standing at the platform is this Class 127 diesel multiple unit, which was built at Derby back in 1959. Just look at the stylish upholstery in the adjoining Mark I suburban coach. It's beautiful. At the rear of the train is this industrial diesel locomotive, Andrew Barclay number 446 Kingswood, which was manufactured in 1959 and saw service in Wales with the Central Electricity Generating Board. I'll be hopping on board this locomotive for the return journey.
I went quick. Sorry?
Back in November 1962, the last passenger train left Helston for Gwinear Road, and a couple of years later the goods services were also withdrawn from the line, and the track was ripped up and the track bed reverted to nature, and all of the stations, including Truthall Halt, were demolished. I do like the way that this station has been reconstructed with many of the essential features of the original station, including a replica of the traditional GWR pagoda style shelter, which was built from new materials to match the original design based on historical drawings. The restoration earned significant accolades, with the Helston Railway receiving the Heritage Railway Association's annual award for small groups, in recognition of the volunteers' dedication in recreating the original GWR design. The railway have plans to reinstate the line between Truthall Halt and the outskirts of Helston. Much of the original trackbed remains intact, and I've had permission to go down and take a closer look. Preparations are well underway to lay a further 1/4 mile of track in the direction of Helston. Volunteers at the railway were assisted by a team from the Royal Naval Air Station at Culdrose who volunteered their expertise to get stuck in to clearing undergrowth and getting the land ready. The Helston Railway launched an appeal in 2024 to raise funds for the extension of the line, which would bring extra tourism and much needed trade both to Helston and the Lizard Peninsula. Then there's the small matter of the Lower Town Viaduct, and the railway company launched a further appeal in 2025 which aims to raise funds to purchase the viaduct, which would be a big milestone in getting the railway as close as possible into Helston. Meanwhile, it's so good to see work has started on extending the line beyond Truthall Halt, another milestone for the Helston Railway. I'm heading back to the station because for the journey back to Prospidnick, I'm travelling up front with the driver.
Okay. Oh, he does what we want anyway.
Well, we're approaching the end of the line at Prospidnick Halt, and it's been fantastic travelling up front here with the driver. I've also had the opportunity of visiting the most northerly standard gauge heritage railway, which is the Keith and Dufftown Railway in the north of Scotland, over 700 miles away from here. And I also had the opportunity of travelling up front with the driver on that line. And I think a video which would combine Helston being the most southerly with the Keith and Dufftown being the most northerly heritage railways is something I will be producing for my YouTube channel. Keep a lookout for that one. Getting back to the Helston Railway, and I think the thing that's really impressed me about my visit is just how friendly and helpful all of the volunteers are, from the chap who manned the car park on my arrival to the ticket inspector and the engine drivers. Everyone went out of their way to make me feel really welcome. The whole of the railway is run entirely by volunteers, people who are passionate about the rejuvenation of the line, and it shows. For some years now I've been saying to myself that I should go and visit the Helston Railway, and at last I've got around to it, and I'm so delighted that I did.